This is for the days when the best laid plans just didn't happen. So even if you planned your low power day, you planned your bare mini action, what would feel both inspiring and doable, but also fulfilling, you were as logical as you could have been using your mom brain to plan ahead, but it hit the fan for whatever reason, or you had a really hard time getting your brain on board to focus. Other things came up, whatever it was, it feels like today is a loss. Like it's a wash, just declare bankruptcy, Michael Scott style in the office, and just better luck next time. But I have an alternate ending for you here. This is a plot twist. If you choose to accept it, you can choose your own adventure. I'm calling it Save the Day Strategy. And it's inspired by my own day last week that really I just had such a hard time focusing. Like my brain was just everywhere and nowhere. And I had an hour left in my day. I had planned ahead to see if my kiddos could go play at Camp Nana and Pop and come hang out with my parents for the day so that I could get stuff done. But then whenever I had this freedom and flexibility to get stuff done, I was just bibbity bopping all over the place. Like I was making little bitty bits of progress, but nothing that actually felt like, yes, check that off, close the loop, close the tab. I wasn't getting energy. It just kind of felt like a meh kind of day because I was just all over the place. And I had about an hour left before I needed to go pick them up. And I was like, get it together. And that's where this Save Your Day strategy came in because I'm like, what could I do with the time that I have left that is going to give me a boost of energy so that I don't feel like crap when I go pick up my kids and then I come home and then all of a sudden, what do you know? Then I would want to do all the things, but then I also feel split energy because they haven't been home all day and I also want to spend time with them. So here's the plan. Get a piece of paper or pause this, get a piece of paper, or come back to it. You can just listen to me explain it and then come back and get a piece of paper and listen to it again. But here's the plan. It's for these moments because they're going to happen. It's just going to happen. Life happens. Okay. We know this. We're going to use our mom brains while we're thinking about it and while we're talking about it right now to plan what are the things that we can do to get a hit of energy. It's a save the day strategy, whether we have 5 minutes, 30 minutes, or an hour left. So at the time, that this idea came to me, I had 1 hour left before I needed to come pick up my kids. And so I was like, what can I do that's going to give me energy, that's going to help me feel like I saved this day? And I did get some meaningful things done, move some meaningful things forward before I go pick them up so that I don't feel just like frazzled when I go get them. And writing this down and kind of mapping out what this strategy even looks like was one of those things. I had my adrenal mocktail, my orange juice drink. I did my 15-minute workout because I hadn't done that yet because we don't have our routines and schedules all dialed in like we do during the school year. That's fine, normal, and that's what happens. We're just figuring out our new systems for summer. Nonetheless, okay, here's the exercise. Piece of paper. It doesn't have to be a big piece of paper. And we're going to have 4 columns. Yeah, 4 columns and 4 rows. You leave the top left space blank. On the left side, each row, you're going to have one that's less than 5 minutes. One row is less than 30 minutes. One row is less than an hour. And then the columns across the top, so it'd be column 2, self, fam, biz. Here's the thing. What I'm talking about for a save the day strategy usually is going to be if you have some time to yourself, it's going to fall into self and biz things that we want to do, or it's basically solo tasks that I'm talking about. You can have the fam column and you can come up with things here too. I'll just walk you through it. But primarily for me, these are things that I would want to do so that I can then be more present when I'm with my family, with my kids. Okay. So, for example, things that I could do for myself in less than 5 minutes just to feel like I'm saving the day. Like, okay, let me just reset. It's a little like when if you're feeling dehydrated and you drink some water and you just kind of feel like you're coming back to life. Like I have a little lily on our front porch. It's the plant that, I mean, we've kept it alive miraculously for years and years. It must be a very hardy plant. Peace lily, is that what it is? Um, anyway, and sometimes she just looks a little parched and then a little cup of water and she perks right back up. And so do I. If I'm just feeling a little slow, I have some water. It's a stimulant, right? It just kind of brings me back to life. So what are the things you could do for yourself if you only had 5 minutes till pickup time, for example? What could you do? Is it literally drinking water? Is it listening to one of your favorite songs that really shifts your energy? Is it just journaling and doing a brain sneeze so that you know the next time you have time to yourself, you've written out everything that was on your mind, overloading, overwhelming? It could be practical things like a list of things that you need to do. And it could also just be dumping out the thoughts that you had that were just swimming and swirling today and just getting them out so they have a place to live outside of your brain. It could be going outside to literally touch grass, to put your feet in the grass or the dirt or the water, wherever you are, looking up at the sky, whether it's day or night. I love looking up at the night sky, but it's not a practice that I regularly do, which is why I appreciate when we're puppy sitting our family dog Molly. And she has to go out multiple times a day, and I use that as an opportunity to go touch grass and look up at the sky. Less than 5 minutes, less than 30 seconds, and it's an energy boost. You could take a lap around your living room or your bedroom. Like you could actually just walk and circulate and get your blood pumping if you've been sitting and squirreling. You could take a shower in less than 5 minutes. May not be like a great luxurious shower, but whatever it is, don't have to wash your hair, but just like being in the shower less than 5 minutes could be something that gives you a boost. Getting dressed if you haven't gotten dressed. These are things you can do for yourself in less than 5 minutes. Things that relate to your creative work or your business. It could be replying to an email, sending a text, sending an invoice. There are some things that we can do. If it's a solo task for your family, that would be like, oh, I need to book their or reschedule their dentist appointment or something like that. There may be some things that are just open loops, something that you need to do. It matters. It's semi-time sensitive. Let's fill out that row of less than 5 minute things. Because my point here is with the save the day strategy is that we don't have to have a full day to get something meaningful done. And we don't have to have hours to boost our own energy or to feel a sense of progress and accomplishment or rest and rejuvenation even. So speaking of less than 30 minutes, so now you have another row for that, you could take a power nap if you need it. Because sometimes that's it. It's like we're trying and we're spinning our wheels and we're so distracted, but actually it's because we're tired and our brains just can't function with whatever we've given them. And so actually just taking a nap could be the most meaningful, productive thing that we can do because it's a reset. And even if it is just 10 or 15 minutes, there's a benefit to that. And even if you don't actually fall asleep, but you're just in that state of rest and relaxation with the intention of just resetting, that's a really powerful thing that you can do in less than 30 minutes. And then you move on about your day. A nap, a workout, like these are things less than 30 minutes. For business and creative work, it could be writing an email, writing a paragraph or a page, recording a podcast, like what I'm doing right now before I go pick up my little guy from basketball camp. That's something I can do that feels really meaningful in less than 30 minutes. And then less than 1 hour, of course, it could be any and all of the above, a whole combination of things, but just expand on it. It could be a longer nap. It could be a longer workout. It could be a lunch date with a friend. Like there's so many things that we can do. And that's all I want to do is just remind us that there is something, Flotsam and Jetsam style, Little Mermaid. You know what I mean? Okay. So that's the point of the save the day strategy. If you need to just call it a loss, I mean, you can. You're a grown up and you get to do that. If you're just like, whatever, I just need to be in this disappointment and whatever. That's fine. That's a valid choice. It's your life. Do your thing. But if you're open to considering that when your head hits the pillow tonight, it might feel a lot better to go to sleep in a state of, I put my crown back on, like I took my power back. I actually did control what I could control in this day. And I put my stake in the ground to say, I am going to do a little something for me. Even if it was less than 5 minutes, just consider that alternate ending to this day. Consider that plot twist where you thought it was going this way. And it wasn't going to end well. But then you had this moment of presence to be like, hang on, save the day strategy. I can be the hero I need. And then you went about it because you made this list, even if it's just mentally making the list. Okay, I don't know. You're probably not getting a piece of paper out, but if you did get a piece of paper out, I'm celebrating you. I got this piece of paper out so that I could see it, so that I could have these examples for you and for me. But that's all it takes is just that little bit of foresight and planning ahead in that executive center in mom brain mode while we can be in that mode. And it's a gift that we're giving ourselves for these days that are going to happen where it feels like all is lost. And it's just like, what the heck just happened? Because the thing is, too, the way that I was feeling on this particular day was like, man, if I knew I wasn't going to be doing, like, making any meaningful progress, then I would have fully leaned into a rest and rejuvenation day. I would have watched Bridgerton, I would have read a book, like, I would have, with my eyeballs, I would have actually really, like, sunk into a nourishing, pleasurable rest day, because that's really valuable, too. But I was just instead at this, like, spinny state, just not fully resting, but also not really working. And it just felt yuck. It felt like I just get the visual of, like, stripping the screw. It's like you're just trying too hard, but you're not really getting anywhere. And so it's like I just needed that hold on a second and reorient myself to really be serious. Like, I have an hour left. How do I want to spend it? And for me, like I said, there was a little bit of personal stuff and a little bit of creative stuff, responding to an email that I didn't want to respond to because I had to think about it. But then once I did, it was actually not a big deal and didn't take that long. So that was the power hour for me. Right now, it's a 30-minute situation because I'm like, oh, okay, I need to go pick up my kiddo already. Basketball camp is over fast. And I'm going to do that. And I'm going to feel better having recorded this episode so that I can ping pong it over to you so that hopefully it benefits you in your summer and in these days. It's totally okay, beautiful, lifey thing for things to just spin sometimes and not go the way that we planned. I mean, that's life. So as long as we can plan for that, like planning for the unplanned and having some ideas in our pockets of things that we can do that we know are go-to things that are going to help us feel better, feel more energized, feel more like ourselves, then that's a win. And it doesn't have to, it's not about the quantity of time. It's just the quality and the choice and the decision that we're making to be like, hang on a second. Again, that flotsam and jetsam. There is something. There is something we can do. So, what is that something for you today? Less than 5 minutes, less than 30 minutes. Maybe you have an hour, or maybe you have more. But having taken just a few minutes to list out some of those ideas, I promise it will help you feel so much better on those days you don't have to declare bankruptcy. You can save your own day 1 minute at a time. Give it a go. Keep me posted. I would love to hear about it. Hit the link in the comment box here in the show notes, and I will meet you back here soon.